Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are exploring a pretty fascinating intersection, language and environmental advocacy. Now, I know that might sound a little surprising at first, but mastering English grammar is actually one of your absolute most powerful tools for protecting the planet. Because to be a truly effective advocate, you've got to express your ideas with total precision. And that is exactly what we're mastering today. How specific verbs pair with specific prepositions to give our green messages maximum impact.
Okay, let's dive into this. When our goal is to think green, it's really all about driving environmental change, right? To convince others to, say, raise their environmental awareness, reduce their carbon footprint, or just use resources more efficiently, we have to communicate effectively. In our study of green living, grammar is basically the foundational tool that gives our message its persuasive power. Choosing the exact right words literally makes all the difference.
But before we get to our specific phrases, let's just quickly define our core concept. A verb-preposition combination is simply when a specific verb frequently pairs with a specific preposition. The golden rule you want to remember here is that the preposition is always followed by an object. The meaning of these two words together is usually pretty similar to the original verb, but that preposition, it locks in exactly how that action relates to the object.
So, here is our roadmap for today's toolkit. We'll touch on the grammar of advocacy, direct attention with focus on, show impact with contribute to, ensure safety with protect from, build resilience with recover from, and finally, speak for the planet.
All right, let's jump straight into our first tool, direct attention, using focus on.
Our first essential pairing is focus on. Notice how the verb focus naturally, and really almost exclusively, pairs with the preposition on in this context.
To focus on simply means to direct your attention, your energy, or your community's efforts toward a very specific issue. When you're giving a presentation or writing a proposal, this phrase is the absolute perfect way to tell your audience exactly where their energy should go. It cuts through all the noise and basically points a giant spotlight right on the priority.
And this brilliantly illustrates the point. Imagine students brainstorming how to make their classroom greener. They discuss turning off lights and air conditioners before leaving. In other words, they need to focus on reducing their carbon footprint. Whether you're focusing on cleaning up a local beach or focusing on developing eco-friendly habits when traveling, this grammatical structure ensures your audience knows exactly what the main goal is.
Moving right along to Section 3, show impact with contribute to. Definitely lock this one into your memory. Contribute to. We use this one to describe the real-world results of our actions.
To contribute to means to be one of the causes of something, or to help bring about a specific result. I love this phrase because it's incredibly empowering. It allows us to connect our small daily habits to massive global environmental successes. It proves that no action is too small.
For instance, when managing waste in packaging, it is so vital to consider what we throw away. When we fix a leaking tap or avoid single-use containers, we aren't just doing chores, right? Activities like recycling waste or reusing packaging contribute to a healthier atmosphere and contribute to saving our precious natural resources. It perfectly links your everyday action directly to the positive outcome.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is a common grammatical trap that honestly catches even native speakers. Because the word to is so often used to form an infinitive, like to run or to jump, people often make a mistake here. But the to in contribute to is actually a preposition. And remember our rule from a minute ago? A preposition must be followed by an object. That means a noun or an ing verb acting as a noun. So we do not say contribute to save resources. We say contribute to saving resources. Mastering that one little detail is going to make your English sound incredibly natural and precise.
Let's shift gears to Section 4. Ensure safety with protect from.
The verb protect is firmly anchored by the preposition from whenever we're discussing keeping something safe. By definition, to protect from means to keep someone or something safe from harm, danger, or destruction. This phrase plays a super critical, central role when we're discussing the preservation of vulnerable ecosystems. It is literally the language of guardianship.
And we see some truly inspiring examples of this out in the real world. Whether it's a project highlighting endangered species like giant pandas, or volunteers out on Condau Island rescuing sea turtle eggs, we use this exact grammar structure to describe these heroics. Volunteers work incredibly hard to protect vulnerable sea turtles from extinction, just as we all must protect marine life from plastic pollution. The verb shows the action, the preposition identifies the specific threat.
Which brings us to Section 5, Build Resilience, Recover From.
The specific verb preposition pair we're looking at here is recover from.
To recover from means to return to a normal, healthy state after a disaster, illness, or severe damage. We all know the planet faces immense challenges, but nature actually has this absolutely incredible ability to heal if we just give it a chance. This specific phrase allows us to talk about that restoration process, and it keeps us grounded in real environmental optimism.
Let's move to and see how this builds in some real-world examples. For instance, local authorities are taking strong measures to restore coral reef ecosystems in Nha Tran Bay. By organizing regular cleanups of the seabed, they're actively helping the reef recover from the damage caused by pollution. Similarly, injured animals kept in captivity need time to recover from their injuries before being released back into the wild. Like I said, this is the language of healing.
And finally, Section 6, Speak for the Planet.
So, the crucial point is this. Mastering these verb-preposition combinations is about so much more than just acing a grammar test. Embracing things like zero-waste tips, bringing your own bag, using reusable cups, recycling, it all requires clear communication to spread the word. By choosing your words carefully, using phrases like focus on, contribute to, protect from, and recover from, you now have the voice and the grammatical precision to confidently share these tips. You literally empower yourself to advocate for a sustainable future.
Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder. You now have the linguistic toolkit to describe the problems, advocate for the solutions, and celebrate the healing of our environment. The grammar is right there in your hands. So, take these tools, apply them to your own green living journey, and ask yourself, what contribution will you make today? Thanks so much for watching The Explainer, and keep speaking up for the planet.